Hey y'all, welcome back to the Burrow. I'm Hillary, your resident fragrance loving muggle. So today my nose is completely shot. I did a charity event with a local pet store, and I have done so many dog nail grinds that I breathed in a ton of extra dust and my nose is not working. So since I can't really describe fragrances today, I figured I would show off brand travel atomizers. I've mentioned before that I collect quite a few, and I figured when I can't smell is probably a good a time as any to show them, and then I can actually spray each fragrance so you can see the distribution and I won't be able to smell it. So later when my house smells like a brothel, it'll be no big deal, but I will probably regret it in the morning. So I'm taking one for the team here. You all better appreciate it. Let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different travel atomizers, it looks like. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so first up, I have a travel atomizer from Martin Mikolev. Now this is what they sent in there was like a Christmas set where you got ylang gold and ornaments and a few other things. And this is for their new fragrance, Desir Toxic. And it just looks like your normal, it just looks like a normal travel atomizer. It doesn't really look fancy in any way, but the distribution is very wide. I don't know if you saw just how puffy. It's gonna cover my camera. Like, holy cow, that was a lot. So it puts out a lot of fragrance at once. Wow, I wish I could smell that. Yeah, so it puts out quite a bit. And this atomizer, I don't think you can buy them on their own, so I'm not really sure if it should be included in this list. It kind of feels like a thin metal cap, nothing fancy. It fits snugly over this. It kind of clicks into place, I guess. But it's just a small little atomizer that at least it looks nice. But yeah, and it has the Mikolev symbol on top. I guess my camera thing's over here for y'all to see. Okay, so next I have imaginary authors. So I love these. I think this is glass, I think, coated, and this feels like aluminum. And what's cool about the cap has the imaginary authors symbol on it. Can you see that? And then it has the name of the fragrance on the front, and then it also says imaginary authors on the back. I don't know if I can make that not blur for you guys. It's not gonna do it. But yeah, so this, I think, like I said, I think this is glass. I think this is aluminum, and it just slides snugly over top. Easy to pick it up by the cap. These are, I think they're 14 mil travel atomizers. And these are awesome, and they still come in the book presentation, just like all of the other fragrances. So if you were really interested in the presentation part of these fragrances, but you just didn't think that 50 mils, that you would ever go through 50 mils, this is a perfect option because you can still have that book on your bookshelf, but it just has a smaller bottle inside. So yeah, those are awesome. I really, really love those bottles. I have a couple of those. Okay, so next I have Killian. So I have 2 different Killians here. They make quite a few different travel atomizers, and they also make some travel atomizers that are specific to certain fragrances, such as like Moonlight in Heaven has a blue sequined atomizer, which looks really nice. Woman in Gold and Gold Night, I think, have a gold and black kind of alternating, maybe like Art Deco looking thing. I know they also make a gold version of this one, and they also make a black version of this one. So these are really, really nice. What I love about these, so these are, when I've heard people talk about Killian, they talk about like the sword and shield, and so I believe that this is like their shield design, and it's just mirror on one side. It has that on both sides, and then it has the Killian K on top, and this is heavy. Like, this is not like a light atomizer, this is heavy. The cap is magnetic, which is really cool, and it also has a K on the top of the sprayer there, and the distribution there is a smaller poof, like maybe half as much fragrance comes out as it does in the Martin Mikolev fragrance, but it is very, very nice. Ooh, I can smell that. That's intoxicated. Wowzers. Okay, so Yeah, so that is the metal one from Killian. I guess they're both metal. I also have this one. So this is the atomizer that you get. Let's see if I can get the light right so you can actually see the... I don't know if I can get it to where you can see all the detail on that. My lights are too bright. But this is almost like ceramic, this white on the side. And it has these beautiful snakes intertwined holding like a circle. And they're holding up berries and leaves. I wish you could see that. Why can I not get my thing to do it? Oh, wait, there it goes. Yeah, so it has that beautiful design on it, and it has that on front and back. It's not gonna do on that side. And then again, it has the K on top, nothing doing on the bottom. On the inside of this one, it does not have the K on the sprayer. But yeah, so these are all, you know, refillable when you get the things, and each of the vials are labeled, which is really nice. Again, the distribution is the same. Did it show? There you go. Yeah, the distribution is pretty nice. Yeah, so I think that these are really like statement making travel atomizers. They are heavy. They look nice. They look luxurious. They feel luxurious. That magnetic cap, I have a thing for magnets. I don't know. Very, very nice. Like, I do love, you know, my imaginary authors, and I love the simplicity here, but there's just something about holding one of these Killian atomizers that they just feel fancy. Okay, so next I have the Maison Francis Kirk de Jean. So they recently came out with new ones that are leather wrapped, and I don't have one of those. But I have their original. They had this that came out in this color, and they also had one that came out in, I think they call it zinc or something. But it's silver and kind of mottled looking. It's not as reflective as this one. It doesn't show as many fingerprints, so I kind of wish I had that one where this one's super fingerprinty. But it has, you know, just their normal symbols. It has the Maison Francis Kirk de Jean thing on the top. The bottom says Maison Francis Kirk de Jean Paris. And inside you have your refillable travel spray. Now, the one thing that I don't like about this one, and also it happened with this one, fragrance leaked inside. And it actually like got into this cap where it's like black in there. And sometimes it would like put black on the rim of each individual vial that you put in here. And I think that's kind of annoying. I'm not really sure where that moisture was coming from. This is a really nice magnetic cap, by the way. Like, I mean, it is a strong magnet. I have to be careful about putting it up too close to other magnetic topped travel atomizers because they'll just fall over. And that gets really, really annoying if I do that in my cabinet where they're all standing up and then I have a fragalanche come at my face. Yeah. So that was the Maison Francis Kirk de Jean travel spray. Okay, so next we have the Parfums de Marly travel set. Now, if you've ever held a Parfums de Marly bottle, you'll know just how heavy the caps are because people talk about them being weapons. The same goes for the travel spray. This is not light, this is heavy. This whole thing is just a really heavy piece of metal. And it has the Parfums de Marly crest kind of thing in the top, nothing on the bottom. It has the horses here, and let's see, there we go. Yeah, it has just a nice spray inside. I really don't want to waste too much of that. I'm running out of Delina, but she's my buddy. And yeah, but I do really, really love these atomizers. They just feel so heavy and definitely could be used as a weapon if you need some something to do some blunt force trauma with. That sounds bad. But yeah, use it as a weapon if you need to. Okay, and that does fit really snugly, so you could easily pick that one up by the cap. Okay, next we have Frederick Malle. So there are a number of different travel atomizers. They actually now have these cool like tall 30 ml bottles, which is awesome. I'm probably going to get one of those once I run out of this. This is Musc Ravageur. Does this slide out? Yeah, so these are shorter and squatter, and so they fit a little bit wider in your hand and just shorter, which is still fine. This is their little symbol on top. I do love that this is a magnetic cap, It is, again, is not a super strong magnet. It's probably about the same strength as the Killian's. So far, this one has been the strongest magnetic cap around. But yeah, absolutely beautiful. I love how vibrantly red this is. Does it match me? Kind of, sort of. Yeah, I love how red this is. I can always, even if it's dark when I'm getting up and getting ready, I can tell which atomizer is Muscovy Azure. And the sprayer, it doesn't put out too much, but if I'm honest, Muscovy Azure is a powerhouse of a fragrance and lasts forever on me. So I really don't need much fragrance. So maybe that's by design. Hard to say. But yeah, so that was Frederic Malls. And yeah, this one's pretty hefty. I'm not sure which is the heaviest here. A lot of these are pretty massive, especially the solid metal ones. This is really light. Oh, the Michelef is the lightest for sure. Okay, next we have Creed. So I think Creed is probably the most expensive atomizer here. Sorry, I think Creed is probably the most expensive spray here. Like this one, I think this was only $45 for the case. And then you buy the fragrance separately. This was probably $105 and you buy the fragrance separately. This, including the fragrance, was $48. This was free, I'm not sure. These are, I think they're $195. The Killian ones, I think they're $195 and you get a few vials of fragrance. This one is normally $185 and you get no fragrance. But I got one of their travel coffrettes. I think the Radiance travel coffret. It was a special thing when Florally, the fragrance, came out. And so you got a vial of Florally, a vial of Love and White, and a vial of Aqua Fiorentina. And then this atomizer. For, I think it was $2.95 or something like that. But like I said, normally this atomizer by itself is $185, and you can't get this particular colorway. Normally they're just solid colors. But so this is the tallest and skinniest of all of them. It is leather wrapped, so that is a leather design there. And it has the Creed, it has the Creed crest on top, and it does say Creed and talks about the size of the decants on the bottom. Now, what I like about this, so the others, you slid the individual vial into the case. With this one, you have your cap. You have a collar here that twists off to keep your fragrance snugly in there, and then your fragrance comes out. So yes, that's really nice. And each of their fragrances are individually marked, which is very nice. The inside of this is plastic, which is nice, so you don't get don't need goo build up in there. And this little, it goes in and twists really snugly, so you don't have to worry about this. This clips into place, so it is safe to pick it up by the cap. And this just looks so nice, especially the colorway. But they have, they have a bunch of different options. I love the look of the black with the gold metal instead. That just looks really classy. But they have a bunch of options. But those are extremely expensive. Like I said, it's about $185. So if you were ever looking at getting a Creed travel atomizer, in my personal opinion, I would wait and watch for an atomizer event, because you can actually go and you can pick out which atomizer you want, and they will fill this atomizer with whatever fragrance you wanted for a discounted price. And that's probably the best deal that you can get on one of the Creed travel atomizers. Oh, and the best part about the Creed distribution, this puff is like this massive, beautiful poof. I don't know, it's not coming off on camera, but it is absolutely beautiful. A good amount of fragrance just in this beautiful fluffy cloud. I love it. So last but not least, I have Tom Ford. And this is one of the cheapest ones we've got here, because Sundrunk is probably the cheapest as far as containing the fragrance and getting the bottle. The Martine Michelef, I don't think, like I said, you can't really buy it separately, so it's probably not really in the list. But, so this one was $48. This one, I think I got it for $60. There are, like Fucking Fabulous, I think is $70 or $75, but they all range between $55 and $75 for the different fragrances that do have travel options. I love the magnetic cap on these. Now I have three. I have Soleil Blanc, Neroli Portofino, and this one. Oh, I also have Oud Wood. Do I have any others? No, I think I just have those. The worst thing about this is I cannot stand this next to the other Tom Fords because, you know, they repel each other. Like, just so, yeah, so this is the Tom Ford. It does say TF on top for Tom Ford. It has Tom Ford around this little golden collar here. If you can see that. Nothing doing inside. Again, this has like the same plastic inside as the Creed one. It looks almost identical on the inside as the Creed one did. And the distribution here is a bit more streamlined, but that's fine if you're, you know, aiming it. Nothing wrong with that. It's still a pretty decent atomizer. I would say that the worst sprayer on all of these was probably Sundrunk, but I love it, so we're not going to talk down to it. And the best distribution, probably the Creed or the Francis Kurkdjian option. But yeah, so the Tom Ford, it's plastic feeling. Yeah, plasticky more than metal, although this part looks metal, and this part might be metal, but this feels like plastic. But it still looks really nice and it's shiny. It looks really classy. I mean, anybody who recognizes the Tom Ford symbol would think it looked classy anyways. So those were all my atomizers. Yeah, I just absolutely love them. It just seems like the perfect way to have the same feeling as having the nice expensive bottle, but having a more manageable amount of fragrance in your collection. I'm a collector. I like to have a lot of fragrances because I like to smell different every day, and it really just seems silly to have a bunch of 100 ml bottles that I'm just never going to make my way through. But 10 to 14 mils that I can work with. And yeah, that's what I had. I'm kind of afraid for what my house is going to smell like tomorrow when my nose is working again. It's definitely going to smell like there's a stripper in here. That'll be disappointing. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions on any of these atomizers and things that I didn't cover because I'm a big weirdo and might have forgotten something, feel free to drop it in the comments below and I'll see what I can do to answer it for you. And yeah, I can't wait to see you guys again next time. Good night.